Hello everyone, I'm Wazzip, aka the two-time Barnyard Speedrun World Record holder, and today we're going to dive into the Barnyard Iceberg. By this point everybody should know what an iceberg video is, but for those that don't, an iceberg video lists unknown, obscure, or disturbing information about any form of media. This list in particular talks about the game of Barnyard more than the movie, so until someone makes a Barnyard movie iceberg, or a Back at the Barnyard iceberg, this is what you get. Huge thanks to Infinite Core and Longhorn for helping me gather all the videos, images, and info for this list, and especially to Infinite Core for making the original iceberg image. Without trying to drag this intro on any further, let's talk about Layer 1. All cows have udders. This entry refers to how every cow character, regardless of gender, has udders. On top of the jiggle physics, there really is no answer as to why this is the case. For people lacking common sense, real-life male cows are always a bull, like Bill. Which brings up a whole lot of other questions. Like, why do male cows have udders even though there's already a bull character? It has been said that the creator of the show, Steve Odekirk, figured that city folk thought that all cows would look like this. Steve, how little do you think of people? Are you trying to misinform the many children that watch your creation? Anyways, Otis is trans. This entry refers almost directly to the last entry. This is more of a meme across the internet claiming Otis is a trans icon, which they are, due to the creators creating biologically incorrect cows. I already spent enough time talking about the convoluted mess of realistic cows in Barnyard, so let's move on. Perhaps. This word is likely why you clicked on the video. The original meme comes from Reddit of all places. The format goes along the lines of the Family Guy Perhaps meme. There's not much else except Otis with the word. Snotty boy. If God himself were to be created and thrown into Barnyard, they would take the shape of Snotty boy. This iconic character has been memed to all hell and said the line,
"That's called cow tipping."
cementing his sheer badassery into the internet. Fans of him have also listed his insane powers to FanWiki. For whatever reason, his character has never made it into the game. How far can you squirt? Sorry if I threw you off there. This refers to an infamous line said by Otis in-game. It has taken the rounds around the internet for its seemingly hilarious bluntness. Movie deleted scenes. If you're like me, and own the DVD of the movie, there are 7 deleted scenes within the extras alongside a lot of extra content. Ig squirting video. You can find this video by booting up the game, going to bonuses, and then animations. There is other content within this part of the game, but the one that has had a lasting impact is Ig's video specifically. As well, squirting Ig in-game causes him to squirt back at you. Layer 2. Mr. Boombastic 2020. Biggie Cheese is an iconic character from the franchise despite only being in the movie for less than 5 minutes. The song Mr. Cheese performs is artist Shaggy's hit track Mr. Boombastic. The original song was released in 1995, but was re-released in 2020. The Scarecrow is alive. This scarecrow at the veggie patch during the night has an angry face, yet during the day has a nice smile. This led players to question if the scarecrow is actually alive. A removed minigame called Scarecrow Football, which we'll talk about further down the iceberg, uses the nighttime model and moves around in the mode itself. IGN beta gameplays. On this very website, you can find gameplay of a very different looking game than what we know now to be Barnyard. It's interesting to compare the many differences between the two. Okay, quick editor's note. The videos used to exist, but I guess IGN just deleted them. There's still beta footage on this website. You just look up Barnyard beta gameplay, okay? Barnyard E3 2006 demo. This entry refers to the demo version of the game, consisting of mini-games like Tease the Mailman, Mud Jumpers, and Barnyard Darts. The demo is playable, and a link to its download will be in the description. THQ Nordic owns Barnyard. In March of 2018, THQ Nordic announced from their own website, claiming that they own the rights to multiple Nick licensed video games. Among this list was Back at the Barnyard, which shows promise for a possible re-release or remaster. This entry can also tie into the ongoing Twitter battle between the Lord of Meat and THQ Nordic to get the game an official remaster. By the way, Follow the Lord of Meat if you want to support the right side of history in hopes of getting this amazing, beloved game a proper remaster. Layer 3. Wii version. In the Wii version, there are gameplay differences compared to all other versions. For example, there's a crosshair that constantly stays on your screen controlled by a Wiimote. More cutscenes are added, and a couple of songs that aren't used in other versions. The textures are also updated a little bit, making them look sharper. Lost Pilot episode. Just for a moment, imagine what the characters of Barnyard look like. Now that you have that image in your mind, take a moment to feast your eyes on something that should have never been released publicly. These screenshots are of the supposed lost Nickelodeon pitch originally from 2000. That year gives some insight as to why the models look like they come from a creepypasta. Despite the lost in this entry's name, you can find a rare teaser trailer from 2005 that utilizes the models from the original 2000s pitch. Everything from that pitch is thankfully a far cry from the final movie product we actually got. Barnyard Bop Demo and Singer. Barnyard Bop is a song that was originally set to open for the movie. However, it was eventually scrapped for the opening scene we all know and love now. You can also find the demo with different vocals and instrumental. The one mystery surrounding this song is that the singer is uncredited, leaving us questioning who it could actually be. Mud Song Demo. This song was released alongside the DVD release for the movie. The demo of this track was utilized for the Mud Jumpers minigame. The demo removes the vocals and takes out the original's distorted guitars. BD Farm is the main farm. Some concept art for the game was found showing the main barnyard with a different layout from what we have now, with the title BD Farm in the art too. Even more strange is how the layout shown does not have any resemblance to the current BD Farm layout. Old Chick model. The final design of the chicks are a simple yellow body and head with 2 dots for black eyes. However, the original design had big blue eyes and eyelashes on the chicks. This model closely resembles Maddie's final design and was probably used as inspiration when it came to creating her character. Old Raccoon model. Like the chicks, the raccoons had a first design before the final model came to be what it is now. The main differences between the two being gray fur, a skinnier physique, and a different shaped head. PS2 cross-saving. This entry is in reference to the exclusive item you're only able to obtain on the PS2 version. The way to obtain PS2 exclusive items is by playing Tak in the Power of Juju, SpongeBob SquarePants Lights Camera Pants, or Nicktoons Unite, and saving the data for at least one of those games on a memory card. Then boot up Barnyard. Selecting the same memory card for a save file gives you the Holstein cow skin and a 10% discount in the Gopher Underground. Having all 3 Nick games saved onto the memory card will give you access to purchase the Yellow Hornet bike, which can also be found in the files of the PC version. Layer 4. Scarecrow Football. This is a scrapped game mode that sets you in the honey forest with sentient scarecrows. You are up against the Jersey cows. There is not much else known about this game mode since it was scrapped early on. Border Patrol. Like Scarecrow Football, this minigame was scrapped pretty early on. The loading screen mentions the use of an unknown item called Funk Berries. My guess for how the game mode went is that you would aim the Funk Berries at coyotes and or raccoons to defend them from something. This game mode likely turned into Tomato Defense, aka cow tipping, which fits the story and gameplay much better. Funk Berry. An item scrapped early in development, this fruit would grow in some trees near Dankweed Pond, Izzy Springs, and the road that turns from Izzy Springs to BD Farm. No other use aside from Border Patrol is known for it. Love Letter. Another scrapped item that was going to be used for the mission where Otis has you bring 10 oxide daisies to Daisy. The devs likely saw the flower gathering mechanic and figured it would be easier to use than to code in a new item. Royal Jelly. This item you can actually obtain in-game. You start by going to the honey collecting mission. When the mission starts, hop out of the hole that you start in, pray to the cow statue, head over to the hive closest to the stop sign, and take all the honey from this particular hive. You will get a jar of honey, but don't stop there. Stick your hand in the hive once more, and the honey will be flashing red, with a prompt saying get the royal jelly. Once you leave the forest, go to your knapsack in your inventory and admire your hard work. Phone camera. The player's phone was originally going to have a usable camera. A scrap minigame titled Photo Op would have had Pip tell you to go around the map taking pictures of different characters doing specific animations. Not much else is known about this mission aside from the voice lines that went unused. Japanese version. In this version, the point of view while in the open world acts slightly different. There are also some added animations, and the order of some missions are changed. Everything else is traditional Barnyard. Classic pool. The developers of the game made a classic looking pool table for when you play against Duke. I'm sure everyone knows what mission I'm talking about, and has noticed that the developers did not stick with that original design. Instead, they made a new pool table taking the shape of a boat. That original table still sits in the files of the game, but is not accessible without some modding. You can see why they decided to not use the original table, as the pockets were likely too small and challenging for a children's game. Debug mode. At the time of uploading this video, there was no known way of accessing the debug mode. However, we do have screenshots of it. There is a weird animation of what looks like Otis spanking another cow. With debugging, the player has access to flying, super speed, and other unknown abilities. Flowers and mushrooms. In pre-release, you can see vegetation all around the Barnyard map, like huge flowers and small red mushrooms. Unfortunately, a lot of it was removed right before the game was released. Mushrooms do make an appearance in the Game Boy version as an item. Layer 5. Herding 4 minigame. Similar to the Chasing Chicks minigame, this game mode plays exactly the same except you get a different point of view than normal. The area that you're restricted to is also completely different from the final version of the game mode. Env Beatty Farm. This entry is about the original Beatty Farm layout that had a blacktop road with 2 lanes instead of the dirt road we have now. The layout is almost exactly the same aside from the road and added fences not present in the final game. Old map. This entry refers to an unused version of the current map. It's an unfinished version of what the map would eventually become. There aren't too many differences to note other than a to-do list, the chicken coop being pushed closer to the barn, and the middle mound having a strange shape. Old junkyard design. There's not too much to be said about this entry aside from the screenshots shown. There are ramps that didn't show up in the final release, as well as a longer entrance into the junkyard itself. Env Ben's Hill. Yet another scrap version of a part of the map that was meant for the Wii version. There are sadly no screenshots of the design. Multiplayer. There was a rumor spread around talking of a multiplayer feature. Unfortunately, there was no intended plan for Barnyard to be multiplayer in the open world aspect of the game. However, there was an idea of some minigames having the ability of multiplayer with up to 4 people. Alongside this now debunked feature came an older version of mud jumpers and bike racing. Top-down camera. This entry stems from the idea that the first developer of Barnyard claims that the game was originally going to have a top-down camera similar to the Herding 4 minigame. I can't find much else information about this entry or where it was said by a developer, but it is believed to be said by one. Scrap minigame with coyotes. This game mode was going to include a sharp squirter in the junkyard, all while avoiding coyotes trying to attack you. Similar to the chicken coop defense, you'd be given 5 lives. Looking at the gameplay for this minigame makes it pretty clear why it wasn't added. As well, it seems that you would have to avoid a massive amount of enemies which might have been too difficult for kids. Lost pre-release game trailer. On a website known as 3D Juegos, there is a trailer for Barnyard in what looks like its beta stage. The trailer was posted on the 23rd of June in 2006, 39 days before release. Searching around the internet, this trailer cannot be found anywhere else. Old main menu. The files that contain the old chick model have the assets for the original main menu. The chick would have some use within the original menu, but this was scrapped early on. Grizzly Gulch didn't exist. The original plan for the map had no Grizzly Gulch. It's likely the developers had enough disk space and decided to add it, making the map feel more complete. Layer 6. Cows eat barbecue. Barbecue is going to be an item in the game. For unknown reasons, the addition was scrapped. With the item came voice lines from Ben that went unused talking about the item itself. Unknown cow in-game intro near the junkyard. In the game's intro, it shows the many parts of the game that you'll come to recognize. One shot in particular is in Grizzly Gulch and shows a dark cow figure in the background. From the looks of it, It could possibly be a misplaced Ben model that they forgot to remove when it came to recording the intro. Where is Daisy? As you may all know, the game had the character Daisy be a prominent love interest for Otis, including a mission of you bringing flowers to her in the game. However, she is completely missing from the show back at the Barnyard. There is no clear answer for why Daisy isn't in the show. Nobody who has worked on the show has said anything about it. What do you think happened? Guitar playing at Ben's hill after death. If you didn't know that Ben died in the story of the game, then why haven't you played the game yet? When you went to Ben's hill at night, you would see him playing a guitar while keeping an eye over the barnyard. When he eventually passes, a different song plays, but who's playing it? Nobody knows. Okay, yeah, this one's kind of a stretch, but just let me have my fun. Radiation hazard warnings. Have you ever noticed that on hole 12 of the back 9 golf course, there is a radiation warning? What if this is the answer to the question of why the cows, no matter the gender, always have udders? I'll let you figure that out. Unused cow icon. And finally, the last entry, there's this funny looking unused icon that could have been used for Archie. Thank God it wasn't. I mean, just look at this guy. Well, that was the Barnyard Iceberg. This video took a lot longer than I anticipated. However, I'm glad to finally have it released. Barnyard is an interesting franchise that I obviously have a passion for. It's a strange piece of my childhood and I'll always love it for that. If you're still watching and want to play the game for yourself, I will have a link to the Barnyard speedrunning Discord in the description where you can download the game for yourself. If you'd like to see more Barnyard related videos, I ask that you please subscribe. As well, liking the video and commenting what you think will help me know if people like the content or not. Once again, I'm Wazzip, and thank you for watching. Have a good one.